That old Smokey, good close friend of the program, said, please tell me you're going to talk about the latest Big Ten playoff format shenanigans tonight. And I responded, yes, I will talk about them. I'm going to put them at the very end of the show where that kind of nonsense belongs. So here we are. It's the end of the show, and I am going to talk about it for just a second. Here's what's happening according to everyone who reports on these sorts of things. The Big Ten has found it necessary to do what they call socializing a new format of the playoff. And what is this format? Well, depending on who you listen to, it is either a 24 or a 28 team playoff format. And for my visual learners out there, the fine folks over at Reddit CFB actually put together a graphic of what a 28 team playoff or a 24 team playoff, I guess, would have looked like last year. It's 28, right, Jesse? Yeah, that's a 28 team playoff. You know, because that's what we need in college football. It's okay. Your audio didn't stop working. I was at a loss for words a long time ago. And when you put the visual in front of me like this, it is very shocking, you know, to suggest Alabama's playing a game at Army in December because we need to see that to crown a champion. So I need to say something, and I'm going to try and be respectful about it because at the end of the day, we all have opinions on sports, and it's not the end of the world. We can go our separate ways, or we can agree to disagree and go the similar way and go to lunch and eat together. If you think that's good for college football, you and I don't see the same sport the same way. We are not looking through the same worldview, magnifying glass lens at college football. This wouldn't even be awesome as a standalone product, much less awesome attached to the regular season, because obviously of what it does to the regular season. There are some people out there, they're not stupid people. You know, remember Mima's age-old axiom that casual people never say smart things. How did she word this? Smart people can say casual things. Casual people never say smart things. So there are some smart people who could look at that and they could say, oh, who says no to more football? The same people who like having money, but they say no to endlessly printing money. Because when you endlessly print money, you devalue the money. When you love football, but then you play endless amounts of football, especially in consequence type situations like playoff spots being on the line, you devalue the actual regular season of football. And there happen to be some of us who believe that the regular season of college football is the best thing about college football. Many people think that. So when you suggest that we ought to play 37 playoff games at the end just because it's more games, that's dumb. Also, there's another group, there are a lot of these, who say, but if you have more playoff spots, you put more meaning on the games. There are more meaningful games in the regular season. No, there aren't. No, there aren't. What you took is you took some games and you reverse engineered meaning onto them because someone's playing for the 12 seed. Or in this case, someone's got I'm going to say this out loud so you understand how dumb it is. This team's got an outside shot at the 26 seed if they win this game here. You know, if they lose, they're 6-6. But if they win, they're 7-5, and they got a shot at being the 23 seed in the playoff. Voila! Meaning on the game. That's not meaning. In fact, we don't even have more meaning on more games in the 12-team model that makes sense. What we do have is we do have games that technically have playoff implications on them now, whereas they wouldn't have in a 4-team model or a 6 or an 8-team model, but they can't win the whole thing. What you did is you took teams like Ohio State or a Georgia or an Alabama. You know, there are a few teams capable of actually winning the whole thing any given year. You took the meaning off of their games. Ohio State can lose 2 games, still make the playoff and go on and win the whole thing. And so there's not that urgency baked into their games anymore because we had to go put it on Kansas State versus TCU, featuring teams that aren't capable of winning the whole thing if they get in, but we're going to convince ourselves that meaning is meaning, and like your better judgment knows what the truth is. Hey, wait just a second. Appreciate you guys watching. Most of you are subscribed. If you're not, please do so. It's free. It helps us keep the show free, and that's how we do college football year round. All right, back to the video. But playoff expansionists count on you to ignore your better judgment. They count on you to just believe, oh, Meaning is meaning. Hey, if this game has playoff implications, we created more meaning for more games. No, you didn't. You just removed meaning from games featuring teams capable of winning the whole thing, and you manufactured it by tossing it onto games featuring teams that can't win the whole thing. That was always dumb. Anyway, I do have good news. This isn't going to happen. That's the good news. There is one goal here. To explain the whole Big Ten playoff expansion proposal nonsense, the goal is not for them to get to a 24 or a 28-team playoff. The goal is to leak that so that they can actually get to what they want, which is the 16-team model. You may ask yourself, well, that doesn't make any sense. How's that, Josh? Well, it is Overton window at its best. And the Big Ten pays PR strategists and lobbying firms and marketing types a lot of money to come up with this stuff. So the Big Ten wants the 16-team AQ model. I actually have thought the 14-team model wasn't half bad, but the Big Ten sucks at messaging, and so they lost me. Like, I'm over here on an island. They're not good at explaining the merits of it. They tried at Big Ten Media Days. They failed. Instead, they just went and took shots at the SEC and said all kind of dumb stuff. So I said, forget it. You guys handle your own business. Like, I was willing to do business with them. I thought Tony Petitti's 14-team model would be good, but they couldn't leave well enough alone. So anyway, the rest of the country hated it, even if I liked it. So the Big Ten had an idea. They wanted a 16-team playoff, AQ model, pre-guarantee most of the slots to certain conferences, and most of the country hated it. So the question becomes, we've got an idea that's bad. Most of the country hates it. How do you get a bad idea across the finish line to people who hate the bad idea? And the answer is, give them an infinitely worse idea. So let's say your Uncle Frederick says, oh, family vacation time this year. You know where we're going? Spin the globe. Vroom. St. Louis, Missouri for the entire week. Nobody wants to vacation in St. Louis, Missouri. What is Uncle Frederick to do? Buy tickets for the entire family to go to Key West? He can't afford it. I mean, God bless Uncle Frederick. Like, he lived a good life, but he can't afford that. So what Uncle Frederick does to make the bad idea seem less bad is he says, fine, we're going to Kosovo. See how you like that. And then the kids start crying. And then Uncle Frederick sits there and stonewalls for a little while, and they cry and they cry and they cry, and he goes, okay, St. Louis it is. And the kids are dumb enough to say, all right, I guess that's not so bad. It is bad. Nobody wants to vacation in St. Louis. I, a storm chaser, love visiting St. Louis, but you don't want a spring break in St. Louis. But when Kosovo's put on the table as if it's actually a legitimate option that Uncle Frederick is actually considering, no, give us St. Louis. The Big Ten thinks you're stupid. I'm just telling you, these people, sweater vest as tight as it can be, glasses pushed up as firmly on the nose as it can be, they think you're an idiot. So they look at you as if you're a child that won't eat your carrots. And they say, well, hey, let's put salad in front of him. Oh, I don't want salad. Give me the carrots. I don't want this 16-team playoff. It seems dumb. Well, what would you think about 28 teams? No. All right, well, 16 then? Okay, I guess so. They think you're that stupid. That's what's going on here. So the question is not whether we're going to have a 28-team playoff. We're not. The question is, are people dumb enough to cave on 16? You know my thoughts on it. I didn't think that it was half bad, but they've done such a poor job of explaining the merits of the AQ model that they have resorted to this. And what this is leaking a proposal that has no legs to it. You'll notice every reporter had it at the same time, in many cases using the exact phraseology, exact same phraseology. Shockingly. So, that's not going to happen. It's an Overton window play, always has been, always will be the way that upper-level college athletics works, because the people who run this sport actively hate this sport. They think you're an idiot, and you are really a profiteering center more than you are a fan. But you know what? I think a little more highly of us than that. I think we'll be okay. Just leave us alone. I think we'll be okay.